Hey guys, gals, and MBs. I'm going to do a fairly quick video today, and I've been rearranging my pedal collection to fit into a more space-constrained area of my home studio, I guess. And I just wanted to do a tier ranking. So recently I sold a lot of my pedals. I'm down to like 14 or 15 pedals. I don't know. We'll go over them. I'm going to go over every single pedal I still own, why I own it, and we're going to give it a tier ranking. Cyber Attack had a video with Strymon tier ranking, and tier ranking's like all the rage, so let me get on the bandwagon late, I guess, and let me do it. So yeah, I'm going to go by Fire Emblem characters for the tier ranking. I mean, yeah, it might be cringe to some of you, but whatever. And this won't be a demo video, so if you don't want to watch it, go ahead and skip it. So we're going to go for the top tier. We're only going to have 3 tiers. We're going to have Kagetsu tier as the top tier. And yeah, if you've played the new Fire Emblem game, which I put well over 300 hours in, he's probably one of the best characters. You can set him in the middle of the map, change to your, complete your turn, and just let him take care of the map. That's just how powerful he can get. So then we have Seedall as our next level, and very useful character. A little bit... he dies a lot. He has a very low constitution, so that's why he's under the Kagetsu level, but still love him nonetheless. And then at the bottom level, where I can either use him, or most of the time I even forget that I have him as a character, unfortunately, that is Alchrist here. And the Alchrist level pedals that I'm going to play here, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them all, or if I'm thinking about maybe like trimming down that collection, but I'm not sure. I'm already down to a fairly small collection of pedals anyway. I mean, small for me, but yeah. All right, let's get into it. And the first pedal that I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Kagetsu level pedal. Let's just do one that you might have not seen coming, but yeah. And that is the Erica Synths, or Erica Synth. I guess it's Erica Synths, isn't it? The Nightverb. I was surprised by this thing. It kind of came out of left field, and I just didn't think it was going to be very good, but damn, it's become my favorite, one of my favorite reverbs. There's going to be 2 specific reverb pedals in this, and it is definitely up there. I've had and used throughout the years, including rack units. I've probably used well over 100 reverbs, owned many reverbs if you go back through my my channel history. But yeah, the Nightverb in particular is one of my favorites. Yes, it's very simplistic. Yes, it only has one basic algorithm, but you can tweak the hell out of the algorithm, and the modulation and just the way it doesn't become muddy over time, like when you really make it on thick, it is just absolutely fantastic, and I do plan on using this. My only caveat to the Nightverb is it is 12 volts, I believe, and it's center positive, so I have to be very careful to only use its adapter and not accidentally use that adapter somewhere else on my other 9-volt center negative pedals and blow their ass end out. But yeah, that is my only complaint, but that's kind of like the Eventide thing, like the H9 pedal and the H90, those were a center positive 12 volt as far as I remember too. Anyway, let's go on to a Seedall tier pedal, and which one am I going to pick? Yeah, let's do this. That'll be the Volante. I love the Volante, but I don't use it as much as I should because there's another delay pedal from Strymon I like far more, and that might shock you, but let's do that one now. Actually, let's talk about the Volante really quick. Yes, I love it. You can set the pan spread and things like that for each individual tap. It sounds absolutely phenomenal. Has a lot of ability to tweak to sound old or new. It has a very good character emulation of bad tape and things like that. So it does the warble. It does like splices and noise and things like that. And it's very good. Sounds great on synth. The spring reverb sucks, but I hate spring reverb anyway, so don't take my word for that if you like spring reverb. So yeah, let's go on to the pedal that I like more from Strymon that's a delay, and that is the Dig. And the Dig is fantastic in any context. I've had a version 1 upgraded to a version 2 when they came out. Love that pedal. I don't use it as much now as I should be using because I have other pedals that do delay that are more interesting, I should say. But when I need a good utility delay that just sounds fantastic with practically any setting, it sounds great. The only caveat is the modulation amount. I wish you could set it instead of having like off a decent amount and then too much. I wish you could have a little bit in between. I think the highest like modulation setting is a little too high on that. But the 12-bit mode, ADM mode, and the 2496 mode are absolutely all fantastic. They all have their own character. And even the mode you would think is the cleanest and like the least interesting, the 2496, has built-in compression, and it is absolutely wonderful. So, yeah. That said, let's do another, let's see. Actually, let's do an Alchrist level pedal. And this kind of pains me because Strymon sent this to me free of charge. And as much as I love it, I think the issue with me is I don't like Bucket Brigade delays as much as I thought I did. I sold my real ones, my DM101 and my Walrus recently, the Amerikai, because I just don't use them as much. And the Brig, when I really want an analog delay, does that sound, it nails it. It just nails it. I've done a comparison video. In a mix, you won't tell the difference. I know there's some snobs out there that'll be like, oh, you can tell the difference in a mix. No, you can't. You're just, you're seeing with your eyes, and that's what you're doing. But yeah, the Brig does analog emulation pretty damn well. It even does, when you go up in time, the response curves are very different. So it does very well with noise emulation and all that. The reason I've kept it, other than getting it for free, which I'm super grateful for, the multi-mode is pretty special. And while the DM101 and the Amerikai were both analog, true analog BBD pedals that had stereo, this has a stereo field that just sounds absolutely gorgeous, especially in that multi-mode. So yeah, it's probably going to stay, but don't know. All right, let's go with another C-Doll since we're going with the pedals that I got for free. So the other one that I like, and it is C-Doll level, it is absolutely the Microcosm. I can't say enough good things about it. It is absolutely fantastic. The only caveat that I have to the Microcosm is the interface is a little bit convoluted and hard to use, especially a lot of the secondary functions, and that's any pedal with secondary functions. Even the secondary functions on the Dig are annoying to remember. But other than that, it is staying because it is so versatile, and I've used it in songs already, especially when you tempo sync this thing. Attach it. Okay, here's what you do. You attach it to an MPC. If you have one of these, you don't have an MPC, like MPCs go for like next to nothing on the used market. They're down to like $300 for an MPC one. I'm not even kidding. I've seen them go for like $299 right now. And if you're into making DAW-less music, tempo sync this and use some of the built-in like soft instruments, or like tempo sync it to the samples on an MPC. And this thing is absolutely fantastic with it. So yeah, that said, you tempo sync it, it's fantastic. Even with loose syncing where you just use manual syncing, it sounds absolutely fantastic. So let's do another low tier pedal, and that is the Zelza. And unfortunately, I love the sound of it. I just can't really find a big use for it in a mix. So yeah, it's a phaser. It's a phaser that does flanging and chorus, and it does them fairly well, but not well enough for me to not have a chorus or a flanger pedal, unfortunately. Now, if I need a phaser, this has gotten rid of all my phasers. I used to have a bunch of analog phasers like MXR Phase 90s. I had a Phase 95. I had a, what's the 6 one or the 8-stage one? Is it the Phase 100? Yeah, that thing was unbelievably, it had a lot of tone suck or something. I didn't gel with it. But that said, the Zelza is my favorite phaser. It's not saying a lot because I like flanging more, it seems. But yeah. All right. So let's go with another modulation pedal, and this is going to be C-Doll tier. And the reason that I can't just use this as an all-in-one pedal, especially for chorus, and that is the Ola. I did a video comparison between the Ola and the Eventide Tricera chorus recently. It's hard for me to say that, but The Ola, at least personally for me, has the character I like the most. So the Strymon stayed, and it is definitely Seedall level. I don't use it as much as I should, but when I need a good chorus, this does better than practically any built-in chorus that I have on a synth. Maybe not as, it's on par with the Peaks chorus, but you know, the Peaks effects are otherworldly and they're on pedal level. So yeah. Let's do another delay that's up in the Seedall rank, shall we? So yeah, hopefully I have enough room to fit. There's going to be one more or two more pedals that go up on the very top. Spoiler. But yeah, let's do the... Oh, it's not fitting. Okay, that's going to be a problem. We'll move this over some. To keep the next one that's going to be up there. But yeah, so the El Capistan, version 1, version 2 doesn't really matter. The version 2 I think is a little better on synths. It takes the synth level a little better, has MIDI syncing. But yeah, like just the version 1 of the Dig, I had to get the version 2 because it's just so good. So not as a delay pedal. I think the Volante does better as just a standard delay pedal. But one thing that no other pedal I've ever owned does as well as the El Capistan is Frippertronic style looping. It just fades out so gorgeously. If you look back at my channel, you can find a video where I show you how I use it as a looper. But it is one of the most beautiful sounding Frippertronic style loopers you will find. And unfortunately, I've never found anything that quite fits that bill. And that said, we'll go to my other one, or my other pedal that I've kept that I like, that I tried to replace the El Capistan with. And that is the Chase Bliss blooper. Unfortunately, I thought that the stability and the ability to fade repeats out would work just as well as the El Capistan would. It does not. And while this sums to mono, this cannot take a stereo signal whatsoever. So this sums to mono for the effects portion, but it can keep a stereo signal through the dry portion of it, which is really useful. This is purely mono. So this is kind of like in between the Seedall and Alcrest like level, but yeah, it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. It's fun for quirky little things, and I don't think I've actually really made a song with it, so maybe it'll go down, and you know what, it's going to go down here, unfortunately. Maybe my idea of it will change, but unfortunately the Microcosm has a phrase looper, which I haven't gotten to use all that much yet, but I think it's a little more powerful for what I do. It doesn't do as much in per se, but it has one, so yeah. All right, so the next pedal, let's do another Kagetsu level pedal, and you guys will not be surprised by this one. Maybe you will, but yeah. So the best and most versatile reverb I've ever owned in my life, and I've owned many and used many, that will be the BigSky MX. Being careful here not to ding or damage anything, because I'm really just cleaning out my collection to reorganize it. But yeah, the BigSky MX. Not much more to say. It's going to be my next video. I don't know which pedal synth I'm going to pair with it. It's either going to be the Peak or the TO5, but I'm going to do some tutorials on how I make patches on it. I did an overview, but let's just talk about the BigSky MX in my next video. Absolutely fantastic. Nothing has touched it in terms of overall quality, except maybe the Nightverb. But the Nightverb only does the one thing, and it does it well. The BigSky does many things, and it does them well. So it does two of the things and does them well because it has two fully independent reverb channels that can run at the same time. So that's really cool. All right. Let's go to my only other top tier. Well, it's going to be an in-between, and I don't have a lot of space. So let's move Kagetsu over here. We'll move him over to there. Nah, it's going to be top tier. Okay, that's going to be the Generation Loss. This is the only pedal I own that is specifically designed to make everything sound shitty, and it does such a good job of it, and it does it in such a lovely way. And I just love it. There's not much more to say about it. It is it is top tier. I've kept it all this time, and ever since I've owned it, the first time I've owned it, I just fell in love with it. It is a very specific sound. It only gets used on specific things I'm trying to do for lo-fi, but it's so good at what it does. It's not the most versatile, but yeah. All right, let's go with another C-Doll level, and we're going to go with the mood, and I'm going to put it over here with the microcosm. The unfortunate thing about the microcosm, it pushed the mood down a level for me. The mood does a lot of granular style stuff, or I mean, I guess you could call it granular, especially in the slip mode, but I like the pitch shifting altogether in the hologram a lot more than I like the pitch shifting in the mood. And yeah, there's a lot more versatility in the hologram, in my opinion, because I could use pitch shifting on the delay algorithm and use the reverb at the same time. On this, I can't. The reverb is nice, but I always have to pair a reverb pedal with the mood, always, where I don't on the microcosm. All right, let me bring out the pyramid. Or it's the pyramids, I'm sorry. But yeah, I love the, this is my favorite flanger, and I don't know where to put it. I kind of want to put it in between, because I'm not sure if I'm 100% a big flanger person, especially over a chorus, but it's an in-between pedal. It's going to be in between C-Doll and Alcrest here. It is a very, very good flanger. It is the best flanger I've ever owned. I've owned quite a few flangers because I thought I was into the flanging thing, but guess I'm not that big into flanging unless I'm trying to do like Berlin School or Krautrocky style stuff, which I don't do all that often anymore. But yeah, fantastically versatile stereo in, stereo out flanger, and it sounds great, and it can nail the old style flanger sounds, and it can do very modern stuff too. All right. Since we're talking about the flanger stuff, let's go to the Deco. This is one of my most popular videos I did on the Deco. It is definitely C-Doll tier. I don't use it as much as I would like to this day and age, especially with the generation loss. This is version 2. I had a version 1. Absolutely fantastic pedal. I love it. It adds so much to your sound without being overbearing or something that you can just pick out in a mix and say, oh, I know that pedal. You can liken it to like a Chase Bliss Theremin. You know that's a Theremin being used in the mix. It just has such a distinctive sound. The Deco is distinctive, but it plays well in a mix where it just blends in and it's lovely, and it's not overbearing, and it doesn't just stand out like a sore thumb. Not in a bad way, I guess, with the Theremin, but yeah, it adds character. It is great for making a mono signal stereo too, without too much more extra modulation, if that makes sense. All right. So that leads me to my last pedal. This wasn't going to be the longest video. And the last pedal is going to be an Alcrest level pedal, and unfortunately that is the Habit. And I was super stoked to get the Habit. Maybe it's because I haven't spent enough time with it, and maybe that'll change in the future. I thought about selling this one quite a bit, honestly, because I don't gel with it all that much. It is great for just coming up with new sounds, but it does its own thing, and it's not like something you can easily like tame and use in a mix. It's kind of like you set your audio on cruise control or generative, and you let it do its thing. But yeah, that's the Habit for me. It sounds cool, and unfortunately it's mono only, so it kind of gets down on the bottom tier here. Once I actually forgot, just like using Alcrest here, I forgot I had them, or the pedal. So like one of those pedals, you can do without, or you can, if you have it, fine, you use it every once in a while, but it is definitely on the bottom tier stuff. Yeah, so that's my overview of the pedals that I still own, at least in middle, or it's almost, it's the end of summer 2024. It's getting into fall. It is fall. It's fall 2024, and these are the pedals I own, and these are the rankings, and this is what I've kept out of my collection and the reasons why. But yeah, the bottom tier ones might be going. I'm not sure yet. The Brig probably will stay because I might regret ever selling that, especially since it's the first pedal I was given to by I'm keeping it. The Brig stays. The other 2 or 3 out of this might be going. I don't know yet. But yeah, that said, thanks for watching this video. It was just kind of a little quick video that I wanted to do where I explain the pedals I still own and rank them because it's the cool thing to do these days. And I wanted to make a tier ranking that was just cringy enough to be funny, I guess. And yeah, if you're a Fire Emblem fan, maybe you'll get the humor in that too. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my content or channel and you like my content, go ahead and subscribe. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and I'll be back next time with the BigSky MX and either the Peak or the TO5. All right, bye.